UFC Fight Night Rozenstruik versus Gaziev is coming up this weekend, and today, guys, I have the complete betting guide for you with timestamps if you'd like to skip to any particular part of the video. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to, like I said, guys, the complete betting guide. We are going to go through last weekend's bets, confident picks, underdog opportunities, fights that I think you should not be betting on, fights to avoid, which I think I already said. I'm messing up this intro. Lock of the week, my favorite props, and potential and fun parlays. We're going to get into all of them. And again, guys, timestamps are there if you'd like to skip to any particular part of the video. Let's get into it. All right, guys, let's start off with last weekend's bets. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Worst week we've had in a little while. So, what I had to say here is you need to be very careful this week. A lot can go wrong with these fighters being at elevation. Lots of unexpected things always happen in places like Mexico. I am playing more than just UFC this week, so look out for more posts because I'm considering making a couple more bets. Still unsure. I wanted to place a bet on Vadim Nemkov so bad, but because of the weight change, I didn't. And then he destroyed the guy. Oh my god. Anyways, I didn't end up placing anymore. So, I had my favorite bets. A two-fight parlay with Yasmin Yurgui versus Sam Hughes going over 1.5. Same thing with Brandon Moreno versus Brandon Royval over 1.5 rounds. Then I had a single bet that I absolutely loved. And this at the time was plus money. Guys, let me know, for those of you who are part of the membership, let me know if you'd like me to introduce like exactly how many units I'm placing or or the odds that I'm placing at the time. Because if you're interested in that, I feel like I'm going to add them either way. But please, let me know. Always looking to improve for you guys. So, Brandon Moreno versus Brandon Royval over 4.5 rounds was at plus money. That's crazy. I thought that was like easy, but then again, we had both Brandon Moreno and Yair Rodriguez to win that I also thought were ridiculously easy bets, and so disappointing, man. So disappointing. I thought they were easy bets. I thought they were super, super easy bets. I don't know if it was the elevation or what. Regardless, nothing you can do there. And of course, my biggest bet of the week was Renan Ferrer to win. Look at the size difference between him and a 40-year-old Ryan Bader who has been inactive. I thought that was a shoo-in, and I got him at plus money too. I was like, nah, I bet that right away when I saw it. Right away when I noticed it was at plus money. It evened out over the week, but man, that saved the day here. That saved the day for me. Anyways, I had two more risky bets with, of course, it being absolutely crushed by Muhammad Naimov and the injury. And then I had a single bet on Thiago Santos to win, which I thought was going to be a safe bet, but Thiago Santos, useless Thiago Santos, lost to a 50-year-old. He lost to a 50-year-old. How is that possible? Unbelievable. So this week was a little bit ridiculous. Now, I don't expect anybody to join after reading this. But typically, we have wild success when it comes to this betting guide that we post, or for the members only, you can see what bets I will be placing in the community tab every Thursday or Friday before an event. If you're interested, please join the membership if you'd like to. It's very cheap compared to other channels. If you like, you can go check out other betting guide videos where I post the results. And typically, we are wildly in the positive. So I do not expect to get any new subscribers after watching this. But hey, I want to be honest with you guys. Now, guys, let's get into the section with the confident picks. It is important to note that I'm not going to be breaking all of these fights down. If you're interested in seeing a breakdown to the fight, I have a full card breakdown where I dive into as much as possible with these fights, so go check out that video. I'm just going to give a little bit of a brief summary for all of these fights, and the first confident pick is going to be Steve Erceg. I love what he's becoming. He is on an absolute roll. He's looking better, and he has like skill sets absolutely everywhere. He's taking on Matt Schnell, who is aging, very inconsistent. You never know what you're getting with Matt Schnell, but I like Steve Erceg. I just think he is a wildly better fighter. Now, I do have kind of the same reasoning for Eric Anders over Jamie Pickett, to be honest with you. Eric Anders, but there is nothing really special about Eric Anders, but Jamie Pickett, he's just a worse fighter than Eric Anders. Jamie Pickett can't put it together. He's 13-10. It explains enough for you, to be honest with you. He's aging. He could be finished, and Eric Anders is the guy to do it. Eric Anders, while he doesn't have a perfect record, Eric Anders has been fighting really, really good fighters compared to the guys Jamie Pickett has been taking on. I really like Eric Anders in this matchup, and if it wasn't 340, I'd bet on him, but I'd have to take a look at it. Actually, I have Betway open. That's my sportsbook personally. I know people, by the way, I've been getting some comments criticizing Betway. I love Betway. I think it's great. It has everything that I need, very user-friendly. But Eric Anders at the moment is Jamie Pickett is at a plus 340 at the moment, which is not even worth touching, to be honest with you. And the last confident pick I have for you guys is going to, of course, be Umar Nurmagomedov. He's taking on Beksat Almakhan. Now, Beksat is a very, very good fighter outside the UFC, but I can't trust a guy to bring the skill sets that he has, which looked really good against fighters that were a little bit less competition. Definitely, like, was not a trash can beater or anything like some guys that you see come into the UFC, but he has an all nice round skill set. But he's coming to the UFC for his debut, taking on Umar Nurmagomedov. I don't know if he's ranked number 8 in the UFC, but he's ranked in the UFC. One of the guys that nobody wants to fight. How could you not pick Umar Nurmagomedov here? How could you not? Like, he's just unproven. And he's taking on such a tough guy for his debut. I gotta say, Umar Nurmagomedov is gonna win this fight. All right, guys, let's talk about a couple underdog opportunities. And the first underdog I have for you is gonna be Loic Razdabov. Now, this is actually surprising to me because I didn't expect him to be an underdog, to be honest with you. And I don't mind his chances. I'm gonna ever so slightly pick him. I probably won't bet on this fight personally, but right now, he's sitting at a plus 205 underdog. I don't mind that at all for the chances. And it's important to note that these aren't picks of mine. These are just underdogs that just would not shock me if they hit. Honestly, I'm giving him a good chance to win. So, Loic Razdabov. Oh, no. I don't know why I said that. Loic Razdabov is a very good fighter in himself. The only problem being, I worry about him possibly having a new hole in his game, that being the refusal to check leg kicks. And Abdul Karim Al-Sawadi is a really, really hyped up fighter in himself. Looks pretty good. It's just, I think Loic is actually like a really good fighter. I do, and I really don't mind his chances. I think people are counting him out a little bit too much here. The next underdog opportunity I have for you guys is going to be Tyson Pedro. Now, to be honest with you, this is a little bit of a risky one because I almost put this in the don't bet on this fight section, but Tyson Pedro at the moment is sitting at, and why can I not find it? There it is. He's sitting at a plus 300 underdog. I actually think he's going to win this fight. I'm definitely not confident enough to bet on him, but Tyson Pedro will probably be the more technical guy in there. He looks really good in the first round. The problem is what happens when he gets out of the first round. That's the big issue. That's the gamble if you're willing to take it. At plus money like that, I don't mind his chances. All right, guys, let's talk about fights to avoid. And the first fight to avoid, absolutely 100% in my opinion, is going to be Raul Rosas Jr. versus Ricky Turquoise. You don't know what's going to happen because they were supposed to fight last weekend. Raul Rosas Jr. was sick. We don't know how sick he was or how long he was sick. And both of these fighters are going to have to cut weight again. That's an entirely new problem in itself. We've seen this happen before. It hasn't gone well, but both of them are doing the same thing. So that just could throw this entire bout out of whack in general. But I worry even more about Raul Rosas Jr. because is he going to be recovered? We don't even know what he had. Too many questions, too many problems. This fight, in my opinion, you should stay away from most out of the entire card for any bet. Prop bets, I don't care. I'm not touching it. All right, guys, the next fight that I do not believe you should bet on is Alex Perez versus Muhammad Mokaev. But I want to be a little bit specific about this because I actually do like Muhammad Mokaev. He is a confident pick of mine. But the reason I say don't bet on this is because right now Muhammad Mokaev is a pretty sizable favorite, to be honest with you. So let's say a lot of people aren't going to just straight shoot him. A lot of people are going to put him in parlays. Alex Perez is notorious for pulling out of fights. If you do that, you have Muhammad Mokaev in a parlay with somebody else, then you're left with that just voided. You significantly lose a lot of money, and it's just going to put a mess in your parlays because I can see a lot of people using Muhammad Mokaev as a parlay piece because, again, he should win this fight. But I don't trust Alex Perez to make it to the octagon. I just don't. Unless you're straight shooting this bet, stay away from it. It's like Costa to me. I'm not trusting it until he actually gets in there. Now, guys, I want to talk about lock of the week, the fighter on the card that I believe has the best chance of winning, and that's going to be Javid Basharat. Honestly, guys, I love watching these guys fight. I think they are great at what they do. Both of the brothers in his prime right now, looking better than ever. He's taking on Ayman Zahabi, who is aging at 36 years old. He has put a win streak together, but at the end of the day, it's nothing really too special. I have no reason to believe that Javid Basharat will not be able to push the pace, back up Ayman Zahabi, take him down, work from there, grind him out to a possible decision. Maybe finding a submission there. I think he'll be able to get the job done, man. I think he is top 15 worthy or maybe just outside of the top 15, and I think he will beat a guy of Ayman Zahabi. I really, really like Javid Basharat in this matchup. Now, guys, let's talk about favorite props, and honestly, there's not a lot of props that I like this weekend, to be honest with you, and at the time of recording this video, they haven't dropped. I don't know the odds. I'm just going to definitely be considering these once they do drop, and the first one's going to be about the lock of the week pick, Javid Basharat. I really don't mind this fight going over 1.5 rounds because Ayman Zahabi definitely has credentials on the ground, and I would imagine that Javid Basharat will take him to the ground, kind of try to find a submission, but I don't know if he will. I don't mind the over 1.5 on this fight. And this one I'm very interested in. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Bekzat Almakhan. Excuse me if I mispronounce the name there. I don't mind this one going over 1.5, but I will definitely need to see the odds on this because, again, like I said earlier in the video, Bekzat has a very, very good skill set. It's just unproven. That's a problem. So if the odds are good on this, I will definitely be touching this one. Over 1.5 rounds. Umar, he can finish the fight, but I mean, like, I'm feeling good about this Bekzak guy, man. I really am. All right, guys. Now, this is the really fun part of the video where we just kind of mess around and see what we can do with some parlays here, especially since the prop bets aren't out, because I like parlaying some 1.5 rounds on different things. Now, actually, something that I didn't talk about today, and it's because it doesn't fall under a confident pick. I might actually bet on Shamil Gaziev for the odds. I don't mind it at all, but let's take some confident picks. Let's take, like, Steve Urseg. What do we get for him? What do we get for... yeah, that's not even worth betting on, honestly. Eric Anders, Javid Basharat, Mohamed Mokaev, even if you want to. That's you don't get anything for that, really. You really don't get anything for that. Something that I actually don't mind, though, to be honest with you, is Javid Basharat. Because, honestly, I'm that confident I might just put some money on him either way. I really, really like his chances. But, again, if you want to see where I actually put my money where my mouth is, you'll have to check out the betting guide, because I'll need to look into that a little bit further, to be honest with you, to like bet at those odds. Like, I don't like it. Even if you want to put $50 there, you profit 11. Like, you might need to add a round line to that. So, but hey, you know what? Sometimes I do those, but you never know. So I actually don't mind like Steve Urseg and Javid Basharat together. That's better. That's better, to be honest with you. But let's pick some fights. Like, let's pick Loic Razdabov. Let's pick Javid Basharat. What can we get for Mohamed Mokaev, Eric Anders, Umar, Vinicius Oliveira, Tyson Pedro, Christian Leroy Duncan, Steve Urseg, Shamil Gaziev? 72 times your money. What does $5 get you? $360. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Sometimes I like playing the ridiculous parlays like that every once in a while, but honestly, I'm not feeling a ton from this fight. Maybe it's because there's so little fights going on. I don't know what's going on with that, but a little bit weird. Christian Leroy Duncan isn't a bad pick as well for 144. It's not too bad. Not too bad, man. I don't know. I'm just not feeling a lot going on. Like, I like Steve Urseg, like I said, and maybe Shamil Gaziev, but that's even, like, you can't trust Biggie Boy to get not get knocked out. Like, you know what I mean? He has that bomb hand. It's just really tough this week. There's actually not a lot we can play around with. But guys, speaking about playing around with stuff, are you a Better Call Saul fan by chance? If so, I have another channel where we talk about TV and movies and take a look at everything to go on with them. And I have a Better Call Saul video right here. If you were interested, check it out. Thank you so much for coming, everybody.